How's it going, everyone? Today is December 31st. It's New Year's Eve 2019, and this is Thriving Bulls Trade of the Day. Good morning or afternoon, wherever you guys are coming from. This is Thriving Bulls Trade of the Day. We actually already had our trade get filled. It's a pretty quick little setup here. We actually got in on this trade at the 28431. This trade actually, we got in at 45, 25 on the sell, and we got out at 35.25 on the buy. So we actually gained about a $10 worth of profit. And as you can see, we definitely could have gotten in more profits, but it's not the point, hindsight's 2020. So we got in a little bitty $10 profit. So we're actually looking at a trade here at the AUD USD, just to kind of see if we can maybe possibly get a trade going there. Let's go into forex, AUD USD 11, get closest to 50. This just has a really nice setup happening here. We're having some nice failure. Go ahead and buy into 5 contracts there before it gets any lower. Alright, cool. So we got in at 54. So let's go ahead and make our working order here. We're going to make it for 44. Alright, so we got our 44 there. We've been kind of watching this trade for a little bit, for a few moments, for a few minutes actually. So what we could see is that it was somewhat of a fake out. So actually on NADEX's chart you can see it a little bit more clearly. But before this candle right here formed, what we saw was a nice shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, and it was somewhat kind of like getting a type of fake out almost, making everybody kind of believe that the price was going to just kind of break out. And the only reason why we didn't get in at this price was just because, just in the event that it did take a breakout and went up to the upside and we didn't get caught in the middle of that, so we kind of waited for just that confirmation that it was going to kind of boost down a little bit and we could get out on that particular one. Now we do need to kind of make sure that this is where we want it, because now that we have this kind of pattern with this shoulder 1, shoulder 2, or head 1, shoulder 2, what we need to do is break out of this zone. Now price is pretty much right about there, so what we'll have to do is draw a line right there, and then maybe right about here, and then go into this 1 minute chart and just make sure that we are breaking out of that zone, because what these two lines represent is somewhat of a support, if you will. So we're going to go ahead and make them blue. And so what we want to do is kind of see a breakout of this zone, because this right here is just having a lot of consolidation, as well as a lot of little hiccups here and there. So we kind of want to see price just kind of go down a little bit more into that area. So let's go ahead and see what NADEX has given us. We're about $4 or $5 worth of profit. Not anything to get too excited about. Let's go ahead and go into the 1 minute. We didn't really get in at a good price that we really wanted to. Before this really started to tank, it was at like the 60s, and so that's where we would have definitely wanted to be, because at that point we would have already gotten our $10. So we just didn't get in a really good price, but that's okay. So because the good thing here is that on the 1 minute chart you can see we're right below these MAs, and so what could potentially happen is for price to come up into these MAs and then start to work its way back down. And this is a good opportunity for us to add on to contracts if we'd like. Right now it's 51.50. We got in actually 54. So all this would do is just lower our price rather than heighten it. So we would want, if price were to go into this little range right here, we'd want to see maybe 57, 58, something like that to add on. We've kind of given ourselves a little bit of wiggle room, only getting 5 contracts at the moment. So that's what we kind of want to do, is just kind of watch it. So we're actually coming back into that positive 1.0, which is pretty much where this MA is. So we'll just kind of watch this thing and just kind of see where it goes. I'm thinking that we're going to really start to see a kind of a nosedive here. Because at the moment, as you can see, we're just in this consolidation. Not really going up, not really going down. We took in new highs, but we haven't taken in new lows from this zone right here. So that's what we kind of want to see, is a little bit of a break into that zone. So we've pretty much surpassed it back into that 1.0. All right, we're getting into that MA. Now we're into the 60s. So let's go ahead and add on 5 more. 61. Did we get it? No, we got it at 58. NADEX kind of screwed us on that one. So that's okay though. So what we're going to do is go ahead and amend this order. So we got 58.12. So we're going to go ahead and do this at 48. And amend that. Amend it to 10. All right, we're working our way back up. Let's go ahead and just check it out. I'm going to remove these just for visuals for you guys. So now you can see we are pretty much hitting this zone now, and price is not liking that. So it's potential that we could see some nice breakout to the downside. I'm just going to kind of watch it, get kind of an idea as to what's going to happen here. I just highly doubt we're going to break out to new highs right about here. I'm thinking we're going to start coming down and test these lows. That's my prediction, is that we're going to come down and test these lows. But we're just going to really need to see, you know, momentum down to the downside from here. The only bad thing is that we have now surpassed the MAs on this. Let me change the color of this. We've kind of surpassed the MAs on this point here. We are about to get a crossover to the downside, which is good, but we definitely need the candles to really work its way down back into this 7022 zone, which it's getting there. Let's go ahead and go into a 15-minute. So on 15-minute, I mean, even on the NADEX chart, you can really see the prices struggle to surpass this price. I mean, you can really see it. Excuse me. So you can really see that price comes in once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and has just failed every single time. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pause the video, and we're going to see what happens on this trade. All right. Within this time, we've actually went ahead and added on some orders, and as you can see, it's really working out in our favor here. So we're going to go ahead and actually close this first trade out for $78 in the loss, then go ahead and close this trade out for $255 in the gain. That way we have made a little over about $300 from our Wall Street 30 trade, as well as this AUD USD trade. So let's go ahead and kind of look at why we went ahead and took the trades that we did, and all that good stuff. So from what we could gather here, we saw that this pretty much was kind of a fake out, what we call kind of a fake out breakout, and we're kind of seeing that here as well. Even though you're hitting here, you're just failing, coming up here and then just failing. And unfortunately for us, we didn't actually see any divergence from here to here. This is going up, and from here to here, this is also going up. So we could actually see even more new highs as this thing starts to maybe even trend. But from our analysis, we assumed that this was somewhat of a zone, and that we were actually selling off on the zone right about there. And then when the price came about here, we added on a little bit of position, and then we started to come down, but didn't get quite where we wanted to because of price. We were about maybe $5 in profit, but nothing to get too excited about. And then when we got up to about this zone, right about that candle there, we saw that this candle right there took a high and then started to fail. When we saw that failure, that's when we knew, okay, we wanted to get into some more positions. We actually doubled down on this position, and we doubled down on this position. So we actually got in at this position at around like 74 because the price was about right here. And we got in even more. I'm sorry, this price here was not 74. It was down here was 74, and then right about here was actually, I think it was 61. So we were able to kind of really double down on this particular position, and it really gave us some opportunity to take profit as this thing started to sink right back into that positive 1.0, which is where we kind of expected it to go. We knew that it was either going to go into this range here or into this into 1.0, which is what it did. So it kind of it kind of went a little bit our way, but a little bit of a risky move, but nothing too crazy. We had the equity, so we were able to kind of take that trade. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment in the comment section down below, or visit our website at www.thrivingbull.com. We are still having our cyber sale or holiday sale, where the Thriving Bull Auto Trader, as well as the Thriving Signals, as well as the deviations, are all just $150 a month. The deviations alone are $90 a month. The Thriving Signals alone are $100 a month. So in reality, the full access package is $190 value, but we're giving it for $150, and pretty much the Auto Trader is free. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. I mean, if you get the full access package, you're really kind of getting the Auto Trader for free. You're not really paying for that. You're paying, you know, $100 for the Thriving Signals, and then $50 for the deviations. So, and as you can see, this thing's really starting to work its way down, kind of as expected. Let's go ahead and look at a maybe 15-minute chart and see what this baby's doing. All right, so this is actually an even better example here. So if we actually go into the 15-minute chart, you can really see that what's happening is that price is failing at this 1.0. So that's what's really happening here, and we can kind of see that in a much broader scale on a 15-minute chart. Again, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment or email us at support@thrivingbull.com, or visit our website at www.thrivingbull.com.